What's up, tired mamas? It's Melissa here with the Cradle Coach, and you might think your child might be ready to drop that nap altogether. Before you do, you need to listen to this video. Don't forget to subscribe below, following all the sleep tips we give you to preserve all your child's sleep and giving them the best sleep possible. So your child thinks they're ready to drop all their naps, huh? Well, before we go ahead and do that, let's try and preserve this nap as best we can. Because let's be real. We know as moms, we need this nap just as much as they do. We need to get things done. We have laundry, clean the house, and maybe catch up on our Netflix shows, huh? Well, whatever you're gonna do, let's preserve this nap. Let's talk through this first. This nap transition, going from 1 nap a day to 0 naps a day, typically occurs between 3 and 5 years old. This often, though, comes forth around 24 months when the 2-year sleep regression hits, and that nap starts to change. They were taking a solid 2 or 3 hour nap, and then suddenly out of nowhere, they start to be up for the entire nap, or they fight and battle, they cry, their behavior is showing up, they sleep maybe for 45 minutes and are up the rest of the time frame, and now all of a sudden, parents start to question, do they need the nap? They do. Use your sleep training technique and fight through this for at least a solid month, because many times parents give up this nap. This is when they think it's time to transition to 0 naps in a day, and that's not the case. Your child will show the signs whether or not this is really the case with their behavior. Can your child go the rest of the day full of activities and full of fun and joy and not show signs of tantrums or misbehavior? Well, if they can, then maybe they are ready to make that transition. Most of the time, especially around that 24-month period, they are not ready to give up this nap. So fight through this. This is one of the biggest reasons why this nap transition occurs early, where many parents think their habit is here, it's formed, and they're ready to drop the nap altogether. But make sure you try and test it out for at least a month before you do that. The second important thing to note here is, instead of giving up the nap, say they're really ready. They're showing their signs, their behavior is fine in the day, that they can go from morning until bedtime. Maybe you need to move bedtime up a little bit just to help with that transition, but they can pretty much go the entire day filled with the activities and still showing that they're fine with it. If that's the case, we still want to give them what's called a quiet time. Some parents refer to this as room time. This is a set hour in the day where you are giving them independent play. The curtains might be open and the sun is shining in, or maybe you are still giving them a blackout shade so the room is still dark and cozy. Whichever way you want to do it is completely fine, but you're giving them this time to play independently on their own for a set hour of the day. You can set an alarm clock and say when the light turns on or you hear the alarm go off after the set hour, then it's time to come out and enjoy the rest of the day. But until you hear that, you are going to be in your room having a quiet play period alone without asking mommy and daddy for anything. This sets them up for success. So make sure you're really laying out the groundwork and do not go back and forth in and out of their room every time they ask you a question, because they're going to start to learn that the boundary line is starting to cross over towards their area. And if they do, they're just going to keep asking you for things. So create a gate, maybe the door is shut, have the room still cozy and comfortable, make sure everything is safe in their room, nothing that they can get a hold of or climb above, and make sure that you have given them enough toys, books, and quiet play toys that they can use on their own, where you don't have to go in and open things up and make sure that they aren't coloring on the walls or doing things that they shouldn't be doing. This is time for you to still have quiet period just as much as it is for them to have this independent play, restoring their bodies, resting their bodies, still giving them time away from everyone and giving them time to shine. So when this nap transition occurs, don't give up completely. Give them this 1 hour set time in the day to really have a quiet rest period. The best tip I can give you about this is not just giving them their iPad. Give them these skills. Teach them how to play independently, because it's gonna go so much farther in the day, giving them time on their own to figure it out, to question things, to think and be creative. This is a time that's really building into them, building into their personalities. And by giving them this, it's going to really set the tone for the rest of the afternoon. Now, if you have to bring bedtime up because this transition is harder, you can move bedtime up to an hour ahead and create that set quiet period after lunch, after all their morning activities, and create the tone that you want your child to learn from. You might want to introduce a sticker chart and show forth the week ahead, saying that they've been able to play independently for that set hour without asking mom and dad, when is the time up? Is the green light on yet? Is the alarm on yet? Is it time? Is it time? Is it time? No, it's not time. So instead of engaging this, let's use a little sticker chart and say, look what you did. You didn't ask mommy one single time here to come out of your room. I'm so proud of you. And really encourage them in this. This affirmation goes a long way. We hope that helped you so much to preserve this nap as long as possible, but also to introduce a quiet time. It's something that's really necessary that these children need to restore their sleep and restore their bodies during the day. Comment below. Tell us what your child does during their quiet period, and maybe you can share some activities that you give your child during this time. We hope these sleep tips helped you, giving your child the best sleep possible. Sweet dreams.